Hey guys, what's up? My name is Dan and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking all things Arsenal. Massive news, obviously. It's been several days now and I'm quite annoyed that I haven't been able to do a video on this in the last few days. But Viktor Gykeres is now officially an Arsenal player. Everyone knows that by now. It's not breaking news exactly. But yeah, I just wanted to have my take on it. You know, everyone's got an opinion on it and I just want to have my own opinion as well. Yeah, absolutely massive for Arsenal. It's a position that we've kind of really needed over the last couple of years at least. We've not really had an out-and-out striker for a little while now. Aubameyang was the last one we actually bought, and that was like, what, 6, 7 years ago? So yeah, a position we've been crying out for. Havertz has done brilliantly, in my opinion. Brilliant option, for Arteta, not just off the bench, but in terms of rotation. And he's beefed up as well. I mean, Havertz looks like he's in great shape this summer. So, but yeah, like I said, we've kind of missed an out-and-out goal scorer, a striker, a poacher, someone that can get on the end of the multiple chances that Ødegaard and Saka create. And yeah, Viktor Gykeres looks like he's that guy. Sesko looked like he was going to be the guy for a while, but Gykeres has come in, he's fought absolutely so hard. One of the reasons I think we're all so pumped, the way he's fought for this move. And he was at Sporting, he honoured the contract he had to Sporting, he had a gentleman's agreement. I've learned, especially from following Mexican football, that gentlemen's agreements tend to go wrong all the time. I can't remember a situation where a gentleman's agreement was actually honoured and everyone got what they wanted. It almost always dissolves into kind of toxicity, and unfortunately, this is what happened with Gykeres and Sporting. Obviously, the Sporting director obviously realised that I can sell him for so much more. In this summer, Wirtz has just gone to Liverpool for God knows how much, 100 million or whatever. Isak's gonna go. There's loads of strikers being moved around this summer. I can make loads of money for him, so I'm just not gonna own on the agreement I had. Gykeres, I don't know whether he's a massive Arsenal fan, but he absolutely wanted this deal. He didn't want anyone else. Didn't want Man United. Didn't want anyone else. Saudi Arabia, I think, doing for him as well. And yeah, he fought really hard for it. He refused to come to training. Look, you don't want the player that you want to buy to, refuse to go to training and really force his way out. But he had no option. He had no other choice. He definitely wasn't going to stay at Sporting beyond this summer. That whatever happened, he was never going to do that. And he fought hard for it. It seems like he paid some of his contract out. He gave some money anyway to Sporting. The agent as well, in an extremely unusual move, forwent a whole bunch of his takings as well. Agent fees, plays a massive part in the modern game now. Apparently, he either didn't get any or he had a much reduced fee from Arsenal. Arsenal tend to not like to pay agents too much. And yeah, I mean, Gykeres and the agent, you have to commend them. They did absolutely everything they could to, make this move happen. And you got to sit there as an Arsenal fan and think, well, this guy really, really wants to play for Arsenal. And which is great because you think, well, that's going to hopefully, touch wood, correlate to his performances. He's going to be playing, he's going to be dying for the shirt and for the badge, and for the fans as well. He gave a really good interview as well. He answered the questions really amazingly. And yeah, I'm really keen to watch him play. There's nothing more exciting in football than a striker joining your club, especially arguably the best striker in Europe right now in terms of numbers anyway. And everyone can say, well, it's the Portuguese league, blah blah blah. Well, okay, but he can only play against who he's playing against, and he did all right in the Champions League as well. So. Yeah, I'm really keen on him playing at the Arsenal. I'm really happy. I would have got in his shirt for the new away, his name on the new away shirt. Apparently, that's breaking records as well. I think it's the amount of shirts sold in the amount of time. I'm not quite sure what the record is, but he's broken it, which is awesome. But yeah, I'd already bought my Arsenal away shirt before then, so I'm gonna get him on the third shirt. I think it's gonna be an epic shirt. Yeah, I'm super keen on him. The way he fought for the Arsenal, the way he fought for the move. means a lot. He's 27. He's superbly in his prime now. He's ready for the next step up. We're gonna have him. I reckon if he hits around running, touch wood, then I think we got him for at least 3 or 4 years, and hopefully that's the push now. We got to stay in touch in this as Liverpool because they're running away with this transfer window. They've won the transfer window. You have to admit that, especially if they get Isak, and they could even get Rodrigo on top of that. I mean, it's going to be beyond 500 million pounds, which is absolutely crazy. So we got to keep in touch with them. 6 signings in total now, all in key positions, all in key roles as well. I could go through them all, but I've already spoken about it. This is a Gykeres specific video, and striker is the absolute position now, that the must position in this transfer window. Everyone was talking about it before the season even finished. Arsenal need a striker, and we've got it. And there's no excuse now. The club has gone out and got a really good deal. I mean, other teams probably would have paid more for him, and he probably would have been paid more, and the agent probably would have been paid more if he'd gone somewhere else. But we still got the best striker in the Europe right now, and I feel like that's a statement signing, and it's up to Arteta now to get the best out of him, and it's up to him as well to kind of he has to somewhat land with his best foot forward, because he's going to have to start showing that he can score regularly, and as soon as he gets that first goal, I think he'll be flying. Now, as everyone also knows, the whole squad's been over in Singapore, which is amazing. I love Singapore. I've been there a couple of times. Haven't been there for ages though. I really want to go this July, but I had my tooth surgery, and that was going to be in July, and I didn't know when that was going to be exactly. It kind of happened all at once, so I couldn't really go this summer. But I'd love to go back to Singapore. It's an amazing place, and they look like they had a really good time out there. He was in. Gykeres was unveiled over there in Singapore just before the game against Newcastle. Really good game, to be honest with you. A really good 3-2 win. A very physical game. Kind of don't really want to be playing these teams. So we've got Spurs next, which is in Hong Kong. They're in Hong Kong now. Yeah, they're in Hong Kong now, and we've got kind of this weird thing with Newcastle. Newcastle players hate us for some weird reason. They see us as rivals, which is quite cute. That was exemplified by Joe Linton basically punching Dalman in the face 5 minutes after Dalman had come on the pitch. He's a 15-year-old kid with a bloody nose. Isn't a great look. Newcastle, have this reputation of being very physical. Most people praise it. Pushing and punching and kicking and shoving. That's not the way Arsenal play, and for years and years, decades, that if you want to play against Arsenal, you have to kick them, otherwise they'll run rings around you. Newcastle kind of still exemplify that. Trash style of play, to be honest with you. We gave away 2 sloppy goals, to be fair. Very pre-season-y game. The defence was kind of off in this game, but it was a good game. We ended up winning it, which is great. Dalman got his revenge as well. He got the penalty, and Odegaard slotted that away, and we won the game. So, all in all, that was a good game. But you kind of don't want these games. Calafiori went off injured as well. Hopefully he's not injured again. It's starting to be a little bit of a worry for him, because he seems to be injured a lot, which is, like I said, a worry, because he's a good player. He's a really good player. They were raving about him before he got injured, so hopefully it's not serious. But you don't want these, you don't want injuries. You don't want these teams. You don't want to play against these teams that have a grudge against you anyway. Spurs is going to be the same. They're going to want to go out, kick us off the pitch and win the game, because Spurs are in a bit of a dire position right now. Even though they're in the Champions League, they're not going to be in the Champions League for very long. Let's just be real about that. And they're going to be at us as well, which is not great. You don't want to get your team injured in pre-season, but at the same time, it's good practice. Playing against Premier League teams on paper in pre-season is a good idea. It gets you back up to speed. There's nothing like playing a Premier League team, especially a Premier League established team. And we're going to have to get on to speed really quickly, because we've got a super tough start of the season. So, there's good and bad, but I just don't want to see my players get injured. So hopefully, touch wood, they don't get injured in the Spurs game. Now, I touched on Max Dalman just now. I mean, what a kid. I mean, everyone's got an opinion on this kid. A couple of years ago, there were rumblings out of Hale End, this kid's amazing. I think he was 13 at the time. I think he was already playing in the under-18s as well, which is crazy. People saying, people started saying this is the best youth system, the youth player this system has ever produced. Harold has ever produced, which is crazy considering Saka and all the other players that we've produced. But yeah, I mean, I didn't see the game. I saw all the highlights, and he doesn't look like he's 15. He looks like he's 19-ish. He's very built, very tall, and that's going to serve him well in the Premier League, especially as he's only going to get bigger and tougher as he grows, because he's got like 3 or 4 more years of growing left to do. That's crazy. Held his own, looked at home. To be honest with you, obviously. He's not going to be a Premier League starter anytime soon, probably in the next couple of years. But on the bench, I can see him maybe in the Carabao Cup game. But yeah, as physical as Newcastle were, I think he held his own very well. Won a penalty, was really good, brilliant. Everyone that was there that have YouTube channels or whatever, blogs or whatever, they've all raved about him. He's blatantly going to be, on the bench for maybe even a Premier League game or here or there. But I think Arteta's going to be very, very careful. He was very careful with bringing Lewis Skelly in, and still is being very careful with Ranieri. He looks like he's signed his new contract, by the way. That's yet to be announced, but apparently it's all done and dusted. Which is another fantastic move. We want to keep Ranieri and Lewis Skelly at the club for as long as possible. And Dalman as well, he's got a massive future at the club. His dad's come out and publicly said that Arsenal are our club. We ain't leaving. Chelsea can go screw themselves. They could buy every other player on the planet, but not Dalman. So, yeah, super keen to see how he develops. Hopefully he does get a Premier League debut at some point in the season. Maybe even the Champions League debut. I mean, he would be by far the youngest player to debut in the Champions League if he does this season. But we'll have to wait and see. And last thing I want to talk about is outgoings, obviously. We need to start letting players go. Obviously, Tomiyasu has already gone. There's a whole bunch of players that have been rumoured to leave, so let's just get straight into that right at the end of this video. I mean, the first one that looks most likely to leave is obviously Reiss Nelson. Unfortunately for him, we all love Reiss Nelson. He's a bit like, Smith Rowe. He's a hair lender. We wanted him to succeed, even though, kind of reminds me of Iwobi a little bit. Injuries kind of ravaged him a little bit. I feel like Arteta kind of wanted to keep him in the Madueke role. You maybe cover Saka and maybe the left wing as well, but it hasn't really worked out. We've kind of left Reiss Nelson behind a little bit, unfortunately, but he can totally still play in the Premier League. I think his most likely destination is a permanent move to Fulham. They look like they're keen on getting him, which is great. I think he's over his injury now, so he can start playing in the new season, which should be fun. Again, I'm not expecting that much money for him. Apparently, it might even be a loan with an obligation to buy. We'll have to wait and see, but he looks like the first guy out the door. Gabriel Jesus, starting to get loads of rumours on him. I'm not going to talk too much about rumours because I don't like it, but I feel like he could leave. He's still injured, I believe, for a while anyway. I think he's got a couple of months left with his injury. But looks like he could be going back to Brazil or maybe Saudi Arabia or maybe even Newcastle. I think Newcastle are looking at him as maybe a Isak replacement. I don't think that's going to happen, but I feel like Jesus could leave. We'll have to wait and see. And Trossard as well. I feel like Martinelli and Trossard are the ones that might make way for Rodrigo or Leao maybe, but I feel like Trossard's probably going to be the one. Having said that, he's a good utility player. He's never really been good at starting games. He's always been brilliant off the bench. We'll have to wait and see on that, but I feel like Trossard could leave as well. There's a whole bunch more that could leave, but I won't talk about them until something more permanent or something more definite happens. But yeah, anyway, let me know what you think about this video. Massive welcome to the club, Viktor Gykeres. I'm so keen to see him play. He may play against Spurs. I doubt he will start. He may be on the bench for Spurs. Depends on how well he's trained. Depends on what the team assesses him are. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about Gykeres, what you think about Arsenal's chances of the league this season, Champions League as well. And yeah, we'll talk about everything in this video down in the comments below. And like and subscribe if you haven't done already. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I'm buzzing, guys. I'm really happy. I will try and do a video after the Spurs game. So stay tuned for that, and obviously if any other transfers happen, I'll do a video as and when. So thanks for watching, thanks for waiting as well. I really wanted to do this video a few days ago, but I've had work and it's day shifts as well, and obviously it's night time. I don't do videos at night, so yeah, this is my first opportunity to do it. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching, thanks for waiting, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. So take it easy. Adios.